So Skull Cannon's got an update. They now leave a little vortex of fire when they shoot, so even if they miss an infantry unit, they can get some decent damage on it when they walk into the flames. I'm waiting for the next shot to land in front of one. Is that going to be a direct hit? No. They're still Skull Cannons, so they'll fire over them half the time. Like that. Direct hit. And you see that burning fire actually does a good amount of damage on these poor Imperial State troops. So yeah, Skull Cannon's got a fun little buff. I don't know if it'll make them OP or anything. They still miss an awful lot of shots. They're still pretty squishy to counter ranged fire. They don't have a lot of ammo. They can get it back by being in melee, but then they're rather fragile, so it is what it is, but I think it's neat. It's a neat little bit to help out a unit that was struggling. The Vortex is 100% armor piercing. Alrighty, we noticed in the patch notes stream that Royal Altdorf Gryphites got Glorious Charge. That's actually rather impactful. It's the Kizelbite thing where they have charge bonus duration is doubled and then the enemy unit takes a leadership penalty even if they're attacked in the front. So I'm going to have them try out their better buffs versus the Fireborn. They also got some damage buffs and some health buffs and stuff like the other Demigryph Knights. To see how they can handle the OP, super powerful, amazing, unstoppable Fireborn, who have been dominating a high elf multiplayer meta for ever since their buffs that gave them mostly armor piercing damage. And the AI is going to be stupid and pull away because they're the AI and they're stupid, but generally we were trading about even in the Royal Altdorf Gryphites. We're starting to take the lead with the Glorious Charge so that they still had their charge bonus active while the Fireborns ran out. So Royal Altdorf Gryphites will beat them up. So I was doing some thinking on what you could do with the new Royal Altdorf Gryphites, and I was thinking Boris Todbringer is already very good against Skaven with his leadership debuff, so I was going to pair him with the Royal Altdorf Gryphites Glorious Charge leadership debuff. So I was wondering how quickly these guys could rout Skaven slaves. And even without getting Boris involved, watch this. Yeah! Oh my god. They rout them on the charge. Oh, the terror up comes in on the charge and the Skaven slaves are fucking destroyed. So then I was wondering, was it just that I was beating up on poor little Skaven slaves and they couldn't do shit about it? So I grabbed some Storm Vermin. Not the Halberd version, because that's just an unfair test. Of course, braced Halberds will mess up Royal Altdorf Gryphites, but I was just curious. So this is heavily armored infantry. Let's go. And plowing through them. I can't see their health bar because Tretch on top of them. They still do a really good amount on the charge. Look at that. They're already down to half HP in like 20 seconds of combat, and the Royal Altdorf Gryphites have taken almost nothing. So that's pretty spooky. I don't know. I think this unit will be very good. I think the Empire has other stuff that's even scarier, but they're definitely going to be very strong because that terror route can do a lot of damage. Alrighty, Regrowth got some significant nerfs, and I want to show it here. So this is old Regrowth on the previous patch. My units are currently exhausted and running, and even while exhausted and running, they get back up to fresh. Now Regrowth on an exhausted unit with the new Regrowth. And even an overcast Regrowth while sitting still, so they're getting vigor back while sitting still. A whole overcast Regrowth gets them back to tired. Now we have the Arcs of Sotek running in, using their little things. I know the Regrowth thing I mentioned was pretty quick, but there wasn't a whole lot to talk about there. The Arcs of Sotek take a little longer, even sped up. You see the poison on the ground is constantly reapplying to these guys, but it does pretty limited damage. Over an entire cast, did about a quarter HP off those guys. This is the new one coming in here. And what's nice about it is you can see the double poison stacking, Sotek's poison and then poison. So those guys are losing 30% of all those stats instead of 15, so it's like double poison. And the Vortex is actually doing more damage. It takes them both down to about half HP. And finally, we have the big boys with their collision attacks. This is the old. So old Cada Destroyer before they got collision attacks. He charges some swordsmen. I don't know why his animation is so bad for that, where he does that exact animation, but if he's charging a unit, he does it too early. We'll see it in the new one too, so I don't really get what that's about, but This is pre-collision attack, so he doesn't do very much at all to the swordsman, and then his side charge down the great swords takes maybe a fifth their health. Fifth, a quarter, something like that. Not terrible. Not great, not terrible. There's the Toad Dragon. Again, before he got collision attacks. Charges into the swordsman. It's a side shot down there. You'd think that'd do a lot of damage, but it doesn't. And now he gets to charge the swordsman. Sorry, great swords. I guess swordsman isn't inaccurate, but it's also not super descriptive. Nyam, 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 nyam. Perfect side charge. Very little damage, like maybe a tenth, an eighth their HP. It's not good. On to the new stuff. So this is Cada Destroyer on the current patch, well, the new patch, whatever. Again, he does that weird charge that lands before the swordsman, but okay. Collision attack in. Not that much damage on the swordsman still, but the side charge down the great swords, maybe that'll be more impactful, so let's get started. Whee! Wow. There. About a quarter of their HP. Quarter, a third, so it is increased. And with one more attack, it takes them almost a half, so that's definitely better. Let's see the Toad Dragon with collision attacks. Okay, still did next to no damage, but we'll get a side shot down the great swords, and maybe that'll be a little better. Alright, so he went through the entire unit and did no damage. None. I saw the thing about flying charge speed not getting slowed down anymore, and I just wanted to check that out. Now, I didn't actually compare this to the old game, I'm just going off of how I've felt for a very long time. But like, this General of the Empire is taking a good amount of damage while he's running away. I feel like that wasn't the case in the live patch. I felt like if a flying unit was trying to get away, it would very rarely take damage. Like, it could once in a while, but not as consistently as that. That was a lot of damage while he was running, and then this lady goes up and she just easily catches up to him and swings. He has 81 speed, she has 105, but again, I feel like if you're a flying character and you're flying away from someone else, you just kind of don't ever take damage. So I'm not 100% sure that's an improvement, but it feels like one, so that's nice. She just killed him is why it ended. Starting his death animation. Rip. I want to see how this flying behavior works with chasing down routing units on the ground. Alright, so both of you back off. Alright, let's go chase them while they're on the ground. That feels better. Like, they're not doing a crazy amount of damage, but they are down there. I seem to remember before this patch, like, flying units would often just kind of like hover above something and like a couple of them would charge down into it. Like that Harpy over there actually... Fury, sorry. That Fury over there actually shattered them, so this one is having uniquely a hard time, but that other one actually shattered off that unit. So I don't know, I think flying units will just feel a little more reliable. Both at chasing things down and fighting in general, because their charge speed isn't all messed up anymore, so... More power to them, let's go. We like little improvements. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.